a melody will start like playing itself in my head, and then I'll build on that, and eventually there's a song out of it. I've been singing since forever. Like, I've just been singing, and I've never really had to, I was never like, oh, I want to be a singer or something. I just did it, and it wasn't really even anything I thought about. It was just something I did, and I never really thought of myself as a songwriter until more like in the last 10 years or so. More, I'm like, oh, I would actually not mind writing songs for other people to sing. That'd be kind of fun too, just to see what those songs become in somebody else's hands. Because it's quite cool. Like, if you get an idea and you don't use it, somebody else is going to get that idea. Like, it's just going to jump to the next person. And so just harnessing what you do have and making the most of it. Marigold is a flower that if it's overwatered, it just dies. Mainly, it all comes down to managing yourself and letting yourself feel those amazing highs, and letting yourself take on too much, and letting yourself just be completely open. I kind of had this lyric in my head, like, merry-go-round, but then I was like, marigold. There you go, up and down and round, depending on how much it's getting coddled, how much it's getting cradled, how much it's getting supported. Even though our bodies have like essentially stopped growing, we can still be growing. And it's just a little more effort. There's no teacher, smacking our wrist when we're not growing anymore. And there's no parent telling us what's next. So you have to really put forth a constant effort to be aware of how numb you've become to growing. In the music video, we kind of have this concept of just me dreaming about childhood again, and trying to kind of go back to that place where you're just playful and you're free with your body, and you're not inhibited and hindered by what everyone's telling you is right or wrong. I find when your life is going pretty good, and then all of a sudden something hard happens, and like the good kind of disappears around, it's out of sight, and then you have to you gotta get around that corner, and then you kind of see it disappear around the next corner, and it's just a way of like, move it or lose it, right? You gotta move forward and keep your head up. This is kind of like an anthem to just like how life is and how I perceive. And every time I sing Marigold, there's always a different kind of gumption that I'm like singing out. There's conviction there. And sometimes it's about something completely different than when I first wrote the song, just depending on what I'm going through or a friend's going through, or like putting myself in somebody's shoes that fits for that moment. But there's never a time I've sung that song and not felt anything. And I like to keep the raw and hit a couple ugly notes and crack a voice here and there, just to like get the tension across. As I've aged, I've become more aware of how introverted I am and how much I need my solitude and my like solitary confinement with like my guitar on a hill. And I consider that work. Like, I consider that I'm doing my work. My mom would be like, oh, you're just gallivanting on the hilltops with a guitar on your back. But having those times alone is really vital to being able to share what you actually have. And just allowing that time for reflection and making sure that everything you're digesting, that you're handling it in such a way that is treating it as just like a God-given gift, instead of being something that's just taken for granted. What's next for me? Well, I'm building a little solitary space in one of the back bedrooms, and it's gonna just be a spot where I can just be alone with my music, and I can invite friends in and we can collaborate. And I feel like that's a big open door for more songs and more like complete concepts that I can get out. I feel like there's a lot that are like half written, and so I would love to finish some more songs, and I love putting it in someone else's hands and see what they'll do with it, like a remix. I'm so excited to finally share what I've been working on, and we're going to be having a party locally. If you're in the Edmonton area, please come to my birthday party / music video release. You can join me by following me on Instagram, keep an eye on Bandcamp, and I'm yours. This is what I come home to after work. It's amazing, and this is what I wake up to every morning. So it's pretty good.